Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today at PRODUCTSPACE. I'm Kathy Little, Client Relations Manager here at PRODUCTSPACE. Today's Quickbytes topics is Windchill Custom Search View Print, which is a specialized portal interface designed for controlling search view print functionality, which will help you enhance your PLM environment. Feel free to post questions throughout the presentation in the chat room, and as always, please note all phones will be muted during the session. We will now begin the presentation with Ryan Posel.
Kathy. Good afternoon, everyone. As Kathy said, my name is Ryan Posel, and I'm the Director of Services Operations here at PRODUCTSPACE Solutions. Today we're actually going to go over and discuss the custom search solution, the design of it, and the benefit that PRODUCTSPACE has to offer. So first thing, we'll take a look at the agenda. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through an introduction and go through some of the problem areas and the use cases for the custom search tool. Second thing, we'll go over the custom search solution features, which includes searching, view, and mass downloading, and then also the ability to batch print documents. We'll also take a look at access and how we access this custom search. We'll take a look at some of the benefits of the tool, and then some ways that we can enhance this if it fits your needs. And lastly, we'll end with any questions that you might have. So the first thing we'll take a look at is some of the problem areas that this tool addresses. So the first one is the complexity of searching, viewing, and printing. So you may have people on the manufacturing floor that don't necessarily need to be trained or learn every aspect of Windchill and how to navigate the system. So what we've done is with this tool is we have the ability for these people that don't need to use Windchill like the engineering department does to find what they need to, print their drawings and so forth. So if we take a look at some of the use cases, one of the first ones is sharing drawings with manufacturing. So again, they're down on the shop floor. They need to pull up a drawing, but they don't necessarily know how to or need to navigate throughout Windchill. So with our search tool, this gives them a quick, easy interface that they could choose a couple options and find exactly what they're looking for. This also gives them the ability to batch print drawings that they can have sitting next to their desk as they manufacture these items. Another use case for this would be for a supply chain. Maybe you need to send a bunch of drawings to a vendor, and rather than going through the system and finding each one and downloading it individually, this gives us the ability to now mass download these all at once. So you can search for and find them in a quick way. So the solution to this tool is PRODUCTSPACE's custom search tool, which allows you to accomplish all of these aspects that we talked about here. So now we're going to actually take a look at some of the features that we have, and then we'll actually look at what Space looks like. So first off, the search has the ability to look for objects within Windchill based on the name and number, so very similar to the accurate functionality of Windchill. Again, it's a much easier interface for them to look at as well. And manually print the documents. It's simple yet efficient interface. So again, printing documents is the representations. So it can be scalable to print anything from representations for documents as well as EPM documents. Just like the Windchill search, this tool also takes into account access controls that you have in the system. So if a particular user does not have read access to the object, the custom search will not find it either for them. So it does take those into account. Now taking a look at the interface, again, it's incorporated right within your Windchill environment. There's a separate area that you go to, and we'll actually see how that can be as well. But here what we're representing now is actually searching for a WT part. As we said, we can expand this to be for WT documents or EPM documents as well. What a user does is they search for a simple part number, and they choose their filters and criteria, and then they hit search. So now it builds this list of all the objects that follow all of the above criteria. We then provide two toolbar options right on the interface for you to either batch print or mass download. So you don't have to worry about going to different areas or selecting each item individually. that are all here for you. The next thing, as we talked about, is access control. So what we do is we leverage the out-of-the-box view print role that's already within the Windchill environment. This role tends to usually have read and download access only. So what we do is we apply users or groups to this role, and this grants them access to the search functionality. Again, we talked about how to access custom search. So what it would be is, if you're familiar with Windchill 10, you have these icons in the Browse tab. So we would actually be adding another tab that you would go to for your custom search. So again, the users that are in here, you can actually limit them from navigating through products and libraries by using profiles, which we'll actually take a look at in the next couple steps. But you can only limit them to using this tab. So that way they don't get confused or navigate through the system, that they can cause themselves confusion or any other harm within the system. So here, as we said, you do have the ability to add profiles. So again, we have this view print profile that's already here out of the box that PTC supplies. So we can leverage this already existing profile to also transfer over to custom search. As we said, within this profile, we now have a new line for the simple search. So then what we can do for this is turn it on and off using that profile. The next thing we'll take a look at is the batch print solution. So what there's a batch print queue that loads everything into that, and we'll take a look at those. We'll take a look at some batch print access points, and then also we look at the product view client with the print license. So that is something that you need to have in order to use the tool as well. Now, one of the things that Windchill 10 does offer is it offers a batch print functionality. Now, where our tool differs is when you print using the batch print tool from within Windchill using the out-of-the-box tool, it is a server-side printing, meaning the printer and the drivers must be installed on the server itself, and everything funnels through that and prints to a single printer. The strength and benefits of our tool is that everything's done on the client side. So when you go to do this batch print, you can point it to your local printer, or if you even happen to have one at your desk, you can use that as well. So this also helps overcome any sort of firewall issues as well. If you take a look at an object within the system, we now have this. If you right-click on the object, we have the ability to add to batch print. So this is where we were talking about how we can add things to the queue. You can do this in mass with a toolbar option that we offer, or you can individually add each line item. To access the batch print queue under quick links, there's actually a new option here for batch print, and this is where you can take a look at the queue. So you can look at the overall job status, see how many jobs are submitted, and so forth. So taking a look at the queue, it's somewhat similar to the worker manager, if you're familiar with that. So we have at the top, we have the table that indicates all of the jobs that are in the queue and that are ready to be executed. To do that, you would just click the name of the queue you want and hit start, and that would then go ahead and send it to the batch print. And again, this is client side, so it would send it to the printer that's connected and installed on your client machine rather than the server side. We then have the job status, which will tell you the status of each individual job in that table, or at the very bottom, it kind of gives you an overview of the entire batch print process. So that could split it up into those two areas. Some of the benefits is easy to search for objects. So again, users don't have to understand how to use the search functionality within Windchill with all of the attributes and all the different things from that end. They could go to this one area and enter the few options they have and do their searches that way. It's a very easy way to view and mass download documents. So rather than having to find each one individually, either browsing or searching through Windchill, you can use this tool. And again, we talked about the easy batch print functionality of documents as well. So the search functionality can be extended to handle any custom process logic. So again, what we showed is the ability to search for WT parts, but we can extend that to also do CAD documents as well as WT documents. The mass download functionality has the ability to be extended to download primary viewable. So again, that primary representation is what is going to be downloaded. So for instance, if you have a Word document installed, or I'm sorry, put in the system, the office worker will publish the PDF, and this mass download can function with all of those PDFs and download all those. As far as CAD drawings go, the tool is not able to download the actual content file of the CAD, but what it would do is it would download all of the drawing PDFs that would be the representations. So again, the CAD worker will create those PDFs as representations, and this mass download tool can then download those PDFs. As far as batch print goes, again, we can batch print multiple documents or CAD files, again, provided they're PDF'd in the representations, because those are what are actually going to get printed. We can also print these along with watermarks or stampings if you need those as well. So then you can, accomplish two things in one step. Okay, now I'll turn it back over to Kathy for any of your questions.
Thank you, Ryan, for that informative presentation. We will now begin the Q&A session for questions posted in the chat room. As we transition to this Q&A, you'll see another quick poll appear on your screen. We'll let you have a moment to respond to that, and we appreciate your responses. Thank you. We'll begin now with the questions. Question 1. What Windchill license is required for this software?
At this time, the custom search does not require any additional licensing. You need a basic user license for Windchill itself from PTC, but batch print does require a product view license, print license. So I'm not sure how many people have that, but there is an additional component that for the batch printing. Now, in terms of the search functionality and the mass download, outside of your standard Windchill licensing, there is no additional license.
Okay, that completes our questions. Thank you for your participation and for the questions that you submitted. Feel free to contact us at any time. If you have a topic you'd like covered in Quickbytes, please submit it via the link on our invite page, and you can view all our Quickbytes sessions on our webpage at quickbytes.windchill360.com and register for our next topic of Windchill Cloud Replicas for global product development as well. Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.